Hey everybody, Ron Ipach here. Welcome to the Hump Day Chat for February 16th, middle of the month. Yes. How the heck was your Valentine's Day, huh?
Good.
For most people, like, oh shit, 2 days ago was Valentine's Day.
Dang, yeah.
So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Those are watching live on Zoom. There are people watching us live on Facebook. And I would say that some of you are watching us recorded. Not right now, not live, but it's the recording of it. So thank you all for joining us. Seriously, Jerry and I get together every single Wednesday and do this from the gosh darn goodness of our heart to spend about 15-20 minutes with you every Wednesday to talk about things that are going to help make your shop all the more better. And this is what we do for free for everybody, for as my mentor Dan Kennedy says, the great unwashed masses of people. We also have two varying levels of coaching group. One is the War Room, which is like a group coaching, very inexpensive. And then we also have the one-on-one coaching where you work directly with Jerry. And if you want any information on that, just drop me a line, just DM me or drop something below the video, and we'll chat. Also, yeah, DM, direct message.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Now I get it. Okay.
That there's young people speak there,
That's
Jerry.
Right. Just drop me a line. Just DM me.
So also, I always forget. Look, if you guys are here, please click the like button. That always helps, lets us know that you are enjoying and actually listening to what it is that we have to say. But today, what the heck we got going on?
I thought maybe I'd give you a view or share a few stories happened in the shop or whatever this past weekend. Not all great stories, but there's always a lesson to be learned in each one of those. And I know maybe you've had, a nightmare customer like this, but there's always a lesson to learn. So grab a bowl of popcorn, grab yourself a Pepsi, and I'll
maybe
a
tissue to wipe a tear off your eye.
Sure. But last Friday, I was at the shop and hadn't been involved with dealing with this customer, but I happened to be there, and I'm going to kind of jump to the end, like the exclamation point, and then kind of rewind the story and talk about all of the things and the warning signs that you should see. But as I was in the shop, all kinds of commotion happening. I happened to open up the bay door to let a technician back off the alignment rack, and large man come running through the shop, dropping all kinds of profanity, and I'm trying to escort him out, tell him he can't be in here for insurance reason, and he's getting pretty heated with me, to say the least. I got him in the front office in our sales area, and he proceeds to threaten my employees, telling them he's going to kill them, and told me that he would be back tonight to rob this place. And he's much bigger than me. Somehow, I don't know why, I was really calm. I was just kind of standing between him and just kind of looking up. I'm not a tall guy. I was just kind of looking up at him, trying to tell him to call down, bring it down. I'm the owner. I'm here to help. But wasn't going to help. We had to dial up the police department, and that was the only way to kind of resolve the matter. And the police kind of escorted him out and all of that. I won't get into the details on that end of it, but what happened is, you've probably all heard maybe the statement that says, all's well that ends well. And I say bullshit. Usually all's well that begins well, because when things begin badly, they usually end badly. So I'm trying to turn that statement on its head a little bit. A little details about that particular vehicle. It was a Chevy Tahoe. We got a whole bunch of snow here the last week or so, and it was towed in late on Friday. And we pretty much knew it needed a transmission. When people get stuck in the snow, forward, reverse, reverse, forward, reverse, forward. Sooner or later, you're going to fry the transmission, and that's what happened in this case. It looked like a pretty good vehicle, nice shape, had about 90,000 miles on it, but I felt it had a whole lot of life left in it. Again, just looking at the car. But again, just some of the warning signs that led up to that thing. And the customer called and wanted a used transmission, which I wasn't really hip on putting a used transmission in. When we looked at, some of the pricing on what they wanted for a used transmission and my labor, I can get them a good quality unit with a 2-year, 24,000 mile warranty for almost the same price. He had very limited funds, so didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. We had to get him approved on SNAP financing. That was the only way we could get him approved for that. We gave him a price on a rebuilt transmission, told him we sublet that to our transmission shop for about, X amount of dollars. I think it was about $3,000 late Friday. He agreed on the price, signed the estimate, smooth sailing, everything's going to go great. Well, over the weekend, I got probably 20 emails from him, about 15 text messages through our text messaging system, all about where he can find a transmission, cheaper online or through this parts store or sitting in this wrecking yard, whatever it was. Again, all red flags. So, sometimes we ignore what's in front of you, and you want the sale so bad, you're willing to ignore all of these warning signs. And that's kind of what happened in this place. He called probably 10 times during the week, each time kind of a little bit, I would say, abusive in the language and that kind of stuff. And every time my service advisor would talk him off the ledge and sounded like things are just going great. He even called Friday to see if it was done. Again, had some more drama in there before all of that happened. What led him to that point is that he called the exact transmission shop where his car was at, and they gave him a price $500 cheaper than what I was quoting him. If I rewind, there were a lot of warning signs before any of this happened. So, what I want you to do is think about some of these warning signs that might happen in your shop. I'm going to fast forward that a little bit. What ended up happening in that story is he got the car towed out, and I reimbursed my transmission shop. They weren't that far into it, but he sailed off into the sunset, and never to see him again, hopefully. But I want to give you another example, not that escalated, because I've never had anything like that happen in 30 years in this business. Never had anybody threaten my life or anything like that.
You live a very, very sheltered life. I guarantee there's guys watching this right now where they've got stories that probably trump the hell out of it. Even me, look, I'm in an office, and I've had my life threatened at least 2 times, and that's via email, and just because people don't like what I might write or something like that. So this stuff happens, but I get where you're going. You kind of take a look at this thing and say, if we rewind it, we should have stopped it here. But the problem is that for everybody, it's too late. By the time you're so far into it, and it's almost like you got to have a rule that, when this happens, like the flares go off, it's smoke signals, it's alarms. It's like, oh no, don't do this, because this time is not going to be different. And that's what we always tell ourselves.
And I think about that was it back in the 60s? I don't even remember. Lost in Space.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever watched, I don't know if they ever they ever made a remake of that. But warning, that little robot warning, and his arms going or whatever. I don't know if you're a Star Wars person. I don't know if R2D2
Lost in Space,
did anything like that. But warning, Will Robinson, warning. They should be warnings going off in your shop when things happen. I was in this morning doing some training with my new service advisor, and a customer walked in. I'm just kind of I always keep an ear to the front to see what's happening. But A customer came in, it was I don't know, a 2014 vehicle or so, and was talking about his dashboard, his digital dash keeps going dark, blacking out. He was convinced it was the alternator. In fact, he took it to AutoZone, and the expert at AutoZone said it might be the alternator. He had his free check from the certified technician at AutoZone. Yeah, right. And he kept taking it back to AutoZone for free scans, and the alternator kept testing okay, but he was convinced it was the alternator. I overheard him say his mechanic works at a wrecking yard. And he seemed to think that this issue was a little bit too technical for him. But his mechanic in the wrecking yard said we should just check the ground wires. You know, how much does it cost to just check the ground wires? Or I think his exact words are, do you even charge for checking ground wires? And again, I see that robot going, warning, 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 because you could see it's a customer business mismatch. You know, so I definitely, you know, I would tell him, you definitely came to the right place. And I'm confident we can resolve that issue. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pre-qualify that customer. And I'm going to let him know that our level 1 testing for an issue like this starts at $179.95. It sounds like you've got an advanced problem. If we don't find it in the allotted times, I'll call you, we'll let you know. It could be 2 to 3 times that to actually get to the root of the issue to find out exactly what the problem is. Would you like to set up an appointment for later in this week, or is the next week better? Well, after saying that, you know, he kind of walked out the door. But again, if you're going to take a customer in like that, there's a lot of warning signs. I can go back, I've been in this business 30 years, and I can tell you maybe every time we've got a, you know, a really bad Google review, and we don't get many of them, but if I rewind that clock and I was involved in it, warning, Will Robinson, warning. I mean, it was going off long before it ever happened. It was a customer business mismatch. The customer, maybe they just didn't understand. You know, sometimes it's, I think, I know in sales, probably about 80% of the time we have an issue, it's always communication. Either communication with the service advisor to the tech, maybe the tech to the customer, or not the tech to the customer, the CSR to the customer, the service advisor to the customer. So I want you to maybe pay attention this week between now and the next time we meet next Wednesday, and see if you hear any of those warning signs. And what I would do is, you know, again, I'm just trying to qualify that customer. Don't run from them. Don't avoid them. Attack them head on, even if it means costing you a customer, even if they leave. Better that happens than, you know, the things escalate, or you get that bad Google review or whatever it might be. So when things usually start bad, they usually end bad.
Mm-hmm. And just to even take that same line of thinking and taking even inside the shop. So, you know, I know everybody here has been really surprised when they had an employee quit. Just almost seemed out of the blue. It's like, what the hell happened? I thought everything was fine, but only to go back and start. When you really start looking at it, they start coming in a little bit later. They don't use the words we anymore. They use the word you. In other words, they've kind of already divorced themselves from being part of your little family there. They stop, you know, staying after to get the jobs done. They start turning fewer hours. But that's that, like that death by 1,000 cuts. They're all little details that just add up, and they add up and add up. And, you know, and it's only till after they leave or after they hand you that resignation that you start really thinking about it. It was right there in front of me all the time. So I guess the bottom line to all of this, and the advice that we have for everybody, is keep your eyes open. You know, what you see is what you get, you know. And if you've got problems and problems start to escalate and they start to develop with an employee, there's something going on there. You know, even if their lunch breaks are longer, or they dash off for private phone calls in the middle of the day that they weren't doing before. Those are little things. You know, the same problems with the customers. You know, when there's a problem, you know, there's a reason why I have a personal conversation with every member that joins our Maverick group. You can't just sign up and then become part of the group, because there's got to be that match between, Gerry and I and you as a potential. We're not in it. Obviously the money's nice and things like that, but we have to have that match, because we're going to be married together for a while as we help build your business and take it to the next level and things like that. And if there's not a match there, it's not good. And I in a way I have to brag to say it, but I don't like to say it, but I turn probably more people down than we accept. And I'd rather that, look, everybody needs coaching. There's no doubt about it. But in some cases, there's another kind of a coach out there that's better suited than Gerry and I for working on that. So, I'll use this as a quick commercial. If you guys ever want to work with us, talk with me, and we'll see if we're a good fit, because I don't like to sell anybody into what we do, because it really is. It's just, I can see the signs whether we're going to be able to work well together or not. So that's about it. So.
And it's,
Gerry,
when you talk with that technician situation, one of the things that always comes to my mind is sometimes it's, you miss the warning signs, but maybe it's because you didn't have the leadership skills. One of my favorite things I think about, you don't be surprised when his toolbox leaves. It's always the last thing to go. His heart left a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe you're not leading them well. Maybe you're not, doesn't see the career path, all of those things. You got to, just like a child in a family, you got to be nurturing that. So it's not always that they're just, jerks in terms of the technician. But, you got to try to look for that good fit in everything and see those warning signs. Think of that. Maybe I'll get that little picture of that robot up there and put it above my service advisor's desk. Warning, warning. Maybe I can even buy one of those little, you think you could still buy one of those classic toys?
If you go to one of those old antique shops, I actually bought a Rudy the Robot, which was a toy that I got when I was like real little. I found one on eBay just because I had it. It's the only toy I remember having as a kid. So I'm sure you could probably find that. Warning. So, all right, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. As always, if you guys have some ideas of what you want us to talk about, just drop a line, let us know. We're here to help serve you. Like I said, the Hump Day Chat, absolutely free of charge inside the Successful Shop Owner group. We do all this just to kind of help shop owners. Those that want to get a little higher level experience, join the War Room, and they work with Gerry and I in a group. Or if you want to work with Gerry and our other coaches directly one-on-one, that's what our Maverick group is for you. But whatever you want to do, whatever suits you best, just let us know, and we're here to help. So thanks everybody for joining us today. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.